Why does fire exist? A simple question. You've seen fire your whole life, in fireplaces, on stoves, in candles. You strike a match, something ignites, light appears, and most people stop there. Fire is hot, fire is bright, fire destroys things, end of story. But that's not the real story. When you slow down and ask what fire actually is, what's really happening when something burns, you start to see something deeper, something connected to atoms, to energy, to sunlight, to life itself. Fire isn't just an event, it's a clue. Let's start with something ordinary. Take a piece of wood, a dead tree, just sitting there. Now add air, oxygen floating around it. They've been together for years, sometimes centuries. Nothing happens. Atoms have preferences. Oxygen would very much like to bond with carbon. Carbon exists all through the wood. When those two finally come together, energy is released, a lot of it. That bonded state is more stable, lower energy. Nature prefers it. But there's a catch. Before oxygen and carbon can lock together, they have to get very close. And getting close requires energy. There's a barrier. Think of it like a ball rolling across a landscape. There's a deep valley it wants to fall into, but there's a hill in the way. If the ball doesn't have enough speed, it rolls back. That's what's happening in the wood. Oxygen molecules hit carbon atoms constantly. Millions of collisions every second, but they bounce away. Not fast enough, not energetic enough, so nothing changes. That's why wood can sit in there for 1,000 years and never catch fire. Now add heat. Heat makes atoms move faster. They vibrate. They collide harder. Eventually, a few collisions cross the threshold. Oxygen snaps onto carbon. Energy is released. That energy makes nearby atoms move faster. Those atoms collide harder. They cross the barrier too, and suddenly it cascades. One reaction becomes two. Two become four. Four become eight. In a fraction of a second, billions of atoms react. That runaway chain reaction is fire. Fire isn't gradual, it's sudden. Not because it's violent, but because it feeds itself. Heat creates reactions. Reactions create more heat. Break the loop, and the fire dies. Remove the heat. Remove the fuel. Remove the oxygen. Nothing magical happened when you lit the match. You just gave the system its first push. Now here's where it gets interesting. That carbon in the wood, where did it come from? Most people assume trees grow from the ground. You plant a seed in soil, a tree appears. So it must come from the dirt. Wrong. Almost all of a tree comes from the air. Carbon dioxide enters the leaves. Sunlight provides energy. Carbon is pulled out and rearranged. The oxygen is discarded, thrown away. That oxygen fills the atmosphere. The tree is built from air and rain. If you weigh the soil before and after a tree grows, it barely changes. But the tree gains enormous mass. That mass didn't come from the ground. It came from the sky. Sunlight made it possible. Photosynthesis is the reverse of fire. Fire snaps carbon and oxygen together. Plants tear them apart. The sun does the work. Energy flows in. Structure is built. That structure stores energy. When you burn wood, you're undoing years of sunlight. The bonds collapse. Energy floods out as heat and light. A burning log is stored sunlight escaping. The flame you see, that glow, those photons, they were sunlight once, captured by leaves, held in chemical bonds, released again. Fire is recycled sunshine. And here's something even stranger. The oxygen fire needs came from plants too. Early Earth had almost no oxygen. Photosynthesis filled the atmosphere with it as waste. Life didn't need oxygen at first. It was toxic. But evolution found a way to use it. Controlled burning inside cells. Respiration. You are a slow fire. Your body combines carbon and oxygen to release energy carefully, step by step. Same chemistry, different speed. Fire is fast respiration. Life is slow combustion. Same cycle. Sun to plants, plants to animals. Carbon circulating, energy flowing. Fire just makes the process visible. When atoms snap together, energy becomes motion. Atoms vibrate faster. Electrons jump and fall. Light is emitted. That's why flames glow. Different elements glow different colors. Sodium burns yellow, copper green, strontium red. The smoke is unreacted material. The ash is minerals from the soil. Nothing disappears. It only changes form. So why doesn't wood ignite on its own? Because it's balanced, a metastable state. Like a boulder resting on a hilltop, it wants to roll down, but it needs a push. The match provides that push. Once it starts, the system takes over. That's how the universe works. Energy wants to flow downhill. Barriers keep things stable until something nudges them. That's fire. And if you keep asking where the energy came from, if you follow the question far enough, you end up at the sun. And that is another story.